them. We don't really know which direction I want to go. Because today, now they go left, now they go right, now they go left, now they go right.
Hello, welcome to PlannedPath podcast, your choice hub for book reviews and crucial conversations. Okay, tonight, today, this morning, this afternoon, this evening. My name is Tosin Mogbadunade. I'm your host of the show, and I have here with me, hello, Joy. Hello, Nkem.
Yeah, my name.
First of all, she's an OAP, so let her introduce herself.
Okay. Hello, everyone. A very good evening to you, wherever you're listening from. Good morning, good afternoon, all in all. My name is Joy Nkemdilim Gauis Anyaegbu, and I actually like to be addressed as a radio presenter. Okay, and I'm a radio presenter. OAP-ish. I don't know. I really don't feel comfortable with that tag.
Is there
But
a difference?
I'm good with radio. Well, I feel that everyone can be an on-air personality.
Okay.
Because yes, when you have a guest, the guest is a personality. And he's on air. Okay. He's on air. You can say I've been on air, I've been an on-air personality, even though they don't do presentation. But I think radio presenter is a better tag for it. I think so many people like to go for OAP because that's the regular preferred term that
it sounds like
gives the
push. I don't know. It sounds easy, culturally acceptable.
I like that's why I had to carve mine. Well, maybe it has actually been in existence, but it's not frequently used. So radio presenter will be fine.
Okay. Okay, welcome Joy Nkem, guys.
Joy.
I'm sorry. Okay, so let's do Joy Nkem. I like that couple. Yeah. Okay, today on the show we are actually going to be talking about Gen Zs at work. And I like the way we just started because I don't think I've ever invited anybody on this show that has come to clarify their name in like 120 seconds. But it's fine. We are here for it. So basically today we're talking about Gen Zs at work. Let's go on a 10 seconds commercial break and we'll start properly.
Okay.
Internet, they go begin talk about mental health.
Welcome back. So I'm really glad to really have you on the show. First off, what do you think about the way people generally? Okay, how did we meet? Let's start from there. We met. How did we meet?
Okay, so we met at a meeting, junior JCI meeting, Junior Chambers International. Exactly. And that was my first time, and so it was yours, right?
Exactly.
And yes, so I think after the meeting, I was being escorted, at the reception by one of their officials or something. I don't know how they are being addressed. And because one of the guests, all right, the trainer, that particular day it was more like an attack on Gen Zs.
Interesting.
Okay. Yeah. And I even asked the question and I asked him, sir, this attack on Gen Z, soft easy. No, I get it. He was trying to create, find the balance, and I think the using Gen Zs for his conversation made it fun.
Yeah.
And relatable.
Everybody here is always up once we hear Gen Z.
Yeah, so because I asked that question, I automatically identify as a Gen Z. I said, please, easy or not, so, so So when we were done with the meeting and I was being escorted by one of the JCI officials, and we met. Okay.
And we started talking.
Of course, before then, we had already introduced ourselves, like during the meeting, let us know who you are, your name, and blah, blah, blah. So after the meeting, we connected again. We struck up a conversation. Myself, a few other persons, okay? And it was very interesting. Then luckily for me, or fortunately, you decided,
Let us tell them that part. Let them, if they want to hear that part, they should come and see us in person and buy us lunch. Of course.
We had and I got to talk about my workplace and how interesting it is. I was like, oh wow, that's very interesting and impressive. So maybe we should do this one-on-one so that others can chip in and be part of the conversation. And here we are today.
Exactly. So Nkem, my dictionary says that Gen Z members are members of the Gen Z age bracket are persons born between 1997 to 2012. Because I hear a lot of people saying Gen Z to sound cool, even some elderly people, some 35-year-olds, they try to identify as Gen Zs. So generally, what do you think about, what's your general perspective about Gen Zs?
Okay, you are correct with that age bracket of Gen Zs from 1997, right? To 2012.
Yes.
Yes. So I identify as one because I am a Gen Z. I was born 2001.
Absolutely amazing.
Yes. So Gen Zs, my reaction to how we are being perceived, right?
Yes. Like the way people literally pick on you guys. What's your general reaction to that?
Gen Zs have seen a lot, shall. It's like we are the cause of everything happening in Nigeria.
Why?
So bad. No, because so bad that we've been addressed as very lazy Nigerian youth. When that statement was made by we know who, I like to think that it's the Gen Zs that they had in mind, because who else? Anyway, my general reaction to Gen Z being picked up isn't different. I'm not really concerned. I'm unbothered about us being picked on, because we are not the first to be picked on. And we certainly won't be the last.
Exactly. Yeah. So when I'm listening, please go ahead.
The generation before us and those before them were all picked on very, very funny, whatever it is.
Flimsy excuse.
So we're picked to you people with this generation and your home training. That's why people could not do anything. That is why we are in this state of affairs in our country. Because if people have gone out to do what you are supposed to do and join politics, and they were picked on. Different generations were picked on. And I don't know if they moved on or not. So for me, us being picked on, life not turn by turn. As they are roasting us, yes, of course, as they are roasting us and picking on us, the next generation should better prepare, because we go extra with our own.
Why is it that Nigerians feel that the generation younger than them, they are more sports? It seems like a cultural thing. They always say during our time. Even Gen Zs, I'm sure that you guys will still say during our time as well.
I started saying during my time. Yes, now, because every generation believes that the generation after them has it easier for whatever reason. They think, well, in Nigeria, I think each generation has one thing that was made easy for them.
Exactly.
Okay. So what we tend to do is to just look at that one thing that was made, that one factor that was made easy for this present generation, and neglect every other factor that is very hard on us. So
Exactly.
before now, okay, things were not so costly as it is,
Exactly.
right? Things were not so costly as it is, and that is why our parents could just, you know, get married at very young ages and start popping babies, and life goes on without even thinking twice about, okay, where to get the next meal, because of course there is something Igbo says, "Oh, Chinazonwa, now God the raise speaking, now God the train." So that was the generations before us, because things were relatively cheap. But now, don't do Chinazonwa and come, you will suffer. Yes, by the time you would have calculated the cost of feeding your single to stupor cell, and then have
Now
to feed.
an additional human being to it.
Oh my God. Now, no person go tell you, say, make you calm down. All right.
Honestly, if there's anything
So,
I've learned from Gen Z's, right, is this thing you
yes,
just said. I have got a lot of Gen Z friends, like a handful of Gen Z friends. Your brothers,
yes,
sisters here are there, like younger ones, colleagues
yes.
and all. One thing I've
Mm.
realized is that Gen Zs are very realistic. Our older
Yes.
generations are quite open, trusting. Gen Zs want to like just bring out the cards out and let's be logical and make a logical decision. Because I'm
Mm-hmm.
seeing a lot of Gen Z saying things like, I don't want to have a child, I don't want to. Those are things that you could never dare to say before. And people come and
Yeah.
say, yo, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. That's really impressive for me with Gen Z.
Mm-hmm. So
Can you,
that's it.
yeah, can you tell me
Technology.
another thing that we can all learn from Gen Zs? Because on this episode, I really want us to like identify things we can learn from Gen Zs. Gen Zs are not always the bad eggs, trust me.
We are not. We are not. So one thing we can learn from Gen Z is, when you asked me why we are being, my reaction to us being picked on, I said I
Exactly.
was indifferent, right? And I still am. And
Yeah.
believe me, that's what we learn from Gen Zs. We are we are carefree. Sorry, I don't know if I can use the vulgar term here, but we don't really give it. If you understand what I mean.
I
Fino said,
understand.
"Do I look like I give it?" So we don't. Okay, we are. I mean, we have lots of problems facing us. Okay,
Mm,
our dearly beloved country is twice as, is it twice still? Is 100 times as bad
mm.
as it has ever been, and it's not getting better. Do you understand? And we are being picked on. So we've learned to choose our struggles. Why
Yeah.
don't we don't we sorry, we don't give a fuck. We are so unbothered. We are
Exactly.
indifferent.
Exactly. And
Okay?
this not being so bothered about things, like picking one's battles. I've seen it work in Gen Zs, in
And
work-life balance a lot. Gen Zs will
huge.
work hard and play even harder, trust me.
Work smart.
And the older generation can learn from this because I know that there are some older people that maybe worked in their companies for 30 years, they didn't leave the place, or they worked
And
off
of the
and they didn't have
people,
time for their families. These days, you're
and
employing a Gen Z. A Gen Z is asking you, what time am I closing from work? What time am I
huge.
doing this? What time am I doing that? Can I work from home? You understand those kind
Yeah,
of work-life balance is something I've learned from Gen Zs. Like if
yeah, that's true.
we're supposed to have this earlier, and I told you that I was
Mm,
working. I forgot to like check my phone. You understand the way you were?
mm,
Oh, I actually forgot to. I turned off all my alarms. Actually, I should have had an
mm,
alarm around that time to at least just
mm.
stand up or something. But
Yes.
if he was a younger person that like knew me more personally that called, this would be like, please stand up, or go and eat fruit, stretch your back, or
Mm.
something like. What cannot take your time. That's one of the things I've learned from Gen Z to work-life
Yeah,
balance. You said
work
that
life.
Gen Z choose their battle.
Okay, I'm going to narrate an instance for you.
All
Okay,
right, please go on.
connected in connection with work-life balance and being unbothered. Before now, before now, the older generations, they don't mind taking their jobs home. Since I joined my company, I always made a mental distinction that I won't, as I'm leaving the company, as I'm leaving the office, I'm not going to be concerned about anything that happens until the next day I'm in the office.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it is a bit difficult for me now because I am doing my training. Okay, I am not fully a presenter, so sometimes it can be excused that you are still a trainer, so or you are still a trainee, so you have to do this and do that. But I have it at the back of my mind that when it's time, all right, I'll let them know that as I'm leaving this office, I won't do anything concerning this job, because sometimes they'll be like, hey, you should be listening to us on radio as well, like, to be giving us corrections whether things went well or not. I already said in my head, sorry, that can't happen. I have a life. I like around here.
Brings me to another point. Gen Zs have a voice and are comfortable expressing their opinions. That I can't take that away.
Expressive. Gen Zs are very expressive, but if we find ourselves in a situation where the only Gen Zs in the environment, okay, like myself, I'm the only Gen Z in my workplace, I tend to take my time to express myself, because I am also trying to learn these generations. I have not had that opportunity to work with an older generation in this kind of setting. So I know that let me just, what should I'm being considerate of this generation ahead of me.
Yeah.
But then when it's time, I really like how I express myself as well. Both vocally, and the other generations, they know how to lock it up, zip it in, don't show it. I will show it. I will show it. Yes.
You remember the speaker that day was saying that it's because of Gen Zs that some conversations are happening at work, that before it would take like a year. I remember I had a job at some point that it took a year before they confirmed like it takes a year before they confirm me as a staff. And something actually happened. It was actually even with me. There was an issue with me that made them to change that policy to, I think, 3 or 6 months. As at the last time I remember, that's what they do in their office.
I won't even agree.
And in most offices now, it's even 3 months. And I like the way they actually just say their mind and things like mental health. Before, if you say you are having health issues in Nigeria, they will not even take you serious. But now,
I get that. So what was I even saying about us being expressive? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. For someone like me, I am very expressive. Okay, but sometimes I can be considerate of, okay, my environment. Since I'm new here, let me take my time and understudy. But you see that one that I don't know how to lock it in. I don't know how to zip it up, especially what is it called, physically. I don't know how to do that. You will know. I might not want to tell you because I'm taking my time. Maybe I am being extra, so let me just tone it down a bit. But my face will not agree.
Your facial expressions have their own mouth. They speak of their position.
Sometimes they will come and say you should not, your listeners should not know that you're not happy. You have to sound cheerful. I'm like, that one will not work. I just can't. Okay, so I think we are very expressive, and it's a good thing. It's something we can learn from Gen Z. Albert, if you can manage it also, because I know Gen Zs, we are the extra generation. Like, we give it extra. good, bad, anyhow you want it. We go extra.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. So do you think Gen Zs are generally selfish people?
Yes.
Or should I say selfish? What's the word? Should I say selfish or they watch out for themselves? What's the right word to use?
Both of them. And rightly so. Rightly so. When I saw that, I was like, yes, we are. I am to let me introduce myself. I am. You know why? Because we've studied the generations before us. And these generations have been told to look out for others. Someone will finish. Let's start with the first daughter narrative. First children that are being parentified, if there's a word like that. Like you
I
are a
like that
child,
word.
but you're
That's
also
new.
okay. You're a child, but you're also a parent to your younger siblings. All right. You don't have that childlike experience because you are busy taking care of your siblings, and before you know it, you become who you are, you grow into it, and that's how you were. And you learn, you find out that you've been taking care of others, neglecting yourself. This is one out of many instances. We have instances of our parents, some of our very kind parents, that look out for everybody but themselves. Oh, God help you if you have a very kind mother like mine, extremely kind. I would always tell my mom, I don't want to be as kind as you are, please. Jesus Christ, I don't want that. You are kind, and that's far too kind, very nice. But I don't want to be so kind to the extent I neglect myself. I
Exactly.
would
That's
always
very
put
important.
please watch out for yourself. Okay, when the chips are down, nobody really gives two F's about you. Not in a bad sense, but they have their lives to live. Okay, so I
That's
had
a
to.
strong point.
I studied. I found out that I have this tendency of being like my mother. All right, I don't know how to say no. I like to be there for people. I said no, that won't happen. Sorry, myself first. So I studied my mother, how kind she is. I said, I like being kind, but not at the expense of my own happiness, not at the expense of my own feeling and all that. Because that's what the generation before us did. They just want to wash down on their experiences, and something that is brag worthy, they'll start with not to brag. Come on, brag about it. You deserve it.
You said brag worthy.
Okay, now let me say you achieved a milestone or something, but because you want to be humble,
Quote and unquote.
yes, thank you, quote and unquote. You know, the generations before us will say, all thanks to God, it's God that did this, and they neglect what their own input. The generations before us will acknowledge everybody but themselves.
I learned this from someone, right? And that's a hallmark for me. When I do help someone, or when I do something and somebody says, thank you. Before, older generations would say thank God. So I don't know. So you sound humble. Me, I would just say you are welcome. Like,
welcome.
You're welcome.
Because yes, I am deserving of that gratitude, and I acknowledge it. The generations before us will do everything, acknowledge everybody but themselves.
Don't mention.
This little thing.
Please mention it.
These little things, okay? You don't know how far it creeps into your system, and you neglect yourself.
Exactly.
You get paid for your salary. You don't reward yourself for a job well done. Well, you can go ahead and buy lots of things for people. I'm not saying it's not good to look out for people, but please, self first.
Very important. So, after we talk about ourselves, I want to talk about boundaries quickly as well, because I realized that a lot of Gen Zs in the a lot of Gen Z in the bid to be expressive and everything. Don't remember that some people are really not your mates. Okay, let me not their mates. Don't let me say your mate. Let me give you a good insight. So you know Dr. Joe Abba on Twitter. He's an elderly man. I think this was 2019. He's an elderly man, and I mean he's a grandpa. On Twitter, the way they would just drag the man, everything. I just used to feel like leave this Baba now. I just feel for him. So I remember I went for a conference that was organized by Daystar Christian Center, Pastor Tosin Adeyemi. So I went for that conference that year, and you needed to see the protocol. And interestingly, I think that morning I wrote something on Twitter tagging him, and I can't remember exactly what I wrote, but he responded to me. But you know what? In real life, as I then, I saw Dr. Joaba and I could not even move close to me. And that was when this thing just dawned on me that social media is really a leveler, but I mean, we need
social media is a leveler.
We need
remember
to give people respect.
Sorry. Yes, that is where, because for lack of a better word, I had to use "we go extra" in good and in bad ways. All right, that's where it comes to play the challenge with us Gen Zs. And remember when I said, I like being expressive, but first of all, I have to tone it down and, understudy my environment first. That's one thing most Gen Zs don't really know. Someone will say, feel free, and Gen Zs will take it extra.
And start making pounded jam in the person's house, Abi.
Gen Zs, I think it's social media that, fuels that, right? Because on one hand, we are trying to be expressive. On the other hand, we don't know how to create the boundaries. We don't know how to know that we fail to acknowledge that these people are not our mates.
That's right.
Should I blame it on social media? It's not on social media. I won't blame it on social media.
We need to be applying our 36.
Thank you. A disrespectful person is a disrespectful
person. We need to apply
person.
discretion.
Yes, there's a difference between being expressive and being respectful. And that's where a lot of Gen Z's flop. So if you not get that, if you not get that, if you are not,
you go still get them, but you never get them. So respect people who don't get them.
What I mean is, if you don't have that respect in you, but you don't have it. So I'm trying to say that it's not social media. Social media is not the cause, right? Because you are not the only person there. There are other people that are very respectful on social media. So why would you choose to go on the path of disrespect? Because you don't get respect. So I think that's something we should watch out for. We Gen Zs, that somebody came down to your level. I mean, social media has made us very accessible to ourselves. You can be in Nigeria and know what it is like living abroad. Not in the literal sense, but because people are there and with experiences that you don't have, okay, you can learn from them. So on a norm, if those days, I didn't grow up in the village, but when we come down for Christmas in the village, there is this respect that is accorded to people from the town. Because, it's coming from the city. You understand? Even people that are older than you, they might not say it, but you see how they behave around you because you have experiences they don't have. You'll be telling them stories that there are street life, there are these, you'll be telling them stories and they'll be listening with keen interest, right? You'll be feeling that respect, okay, because you have something they don't have. If it is like that, or rather it was like that, okay, in the times past, how much more now? Is it because, I don't know if I'm making sense to you. Do you understand?
You're making a lot of sense, okay?
So it's not social media.
At all,
Because
Abby.
it's not social media. You don't have respect, you don't have respect. I think we should tell ourselves that
Nkem,
yes.
I need to pause this meeting now because it's going to go up. So we are going to record the remaining part as part 2 of our conversation. Thank you for listening to PlannedPath podcast today. Actually, join us next week to listen to the concluding episode of this. We are going to be talking about Gen Zs at work and a whole lot of other things around the work life of Gen Zs. Thank you so much. Make sure you listen to other episodes. This is PlannedPath podcast, your choice of for book reviews and crucial conversations. Thank you. Bye,
Thank you
Nkem.
too. Bye.